I just found out my brother has been watching my wife shower for the past 2 years. My wife and I have been married for the past 2 years, and the day we got married she told me she got weird vibes from my brother. I told her that he was a bit creepy sometimes and there was nothing to worry about. Not too long after the wedding my brother said when my wife and I went out to our honeymoon he would like to look after our home. My wife refused, but I convinced her to let him house sit. When we came back we saw he had put new lights in my wife's bathroom. They did work better than the old ones, so I has just thought that he was being nice, but my wife hated them and thought it was fishy and begged me to get new lights for her bathroom, but I said there was nothing wrong with her lights and she forgot about it in some time. My brother is getting married in a week. He said he would love it if we could come, but my wife refused to go. She still hated him and I didn't know why. I just got mad and yelled that if she wouldn't go then she could stay at home by herself for the next week. Before she could say anything I had left house. I had asked my brother if I could stay at his house and he agreed. A day or two passes and he has to go to the store. He left his phone in the house, so I was about to give it to him, but then I saw an app notifying him, new movement detected. I was confused until I clicked on it. I saw a door open from a corner and I see my wife having a breakdown in the bathroom. I was horrified, angry, grossed out, and I felt betrayal. I left to go home to my wife that same day. I cried to her telling her that she was right. She was still mad at me but still forgave me. She asked me later what I meant by, I was right. I didn't want to tell her, so I just said I wouldn't be at the wedding as well. I don't know what to do, who to tell first, when I should do it, how I should do it. This is so much for one person to handle. Please help and give me something to work with. Edit. A day or so after I posted this I told my wife I would be going to the wedding. She got a little bit pissed off, but she understood. 3 days passed and I'm going to the store when I got a call from my brother. It was kind of shocking seeing him call me, but as I was just about to speak my brother was crying so hard. I was trying to ask him what was going on, but he kept on saying I don't even know what, and then he ended the call. I couldn't make out any word except for Martha. At first I was confused until I remembered that his fiancée is named Martha. I told him to slow down, but he had already ended the call. I then called Martha and she was crying too. Asked her what was going on when she said that she had found out my brother was watching a girl shower, that girl being my wife. I told Martha that the girl was my wife. She flipped out and cried harder, and right before she ended the call she yelled out something about canceling the wedding. By then I was rushing home hoping my wife didn't find out. It would ruin her if she found out she had been watched. My brother had called me but I had blocked his number. A few minutes later my wife texted me, "Your brother is here, where are you?" I was scared my wife would find out, so I told her to act like no one was home. She then told me that he was calling out her name. She said that she was gonna let him in, but I told her I would be there soon and to wait for me. She did as I asked, and when I got there my brother was looking like a mess. Just looking at him hurt, but I told him to go outside with me. When we were out I just started to confront him, but when he denied it I just started to act crazy and hurt him badly. He looked like he had lost a fight with 50 angry cats. He yelled out some slurs to me as I walked in my home and hugged my wife. She was scared of me but hugged me back. I have already got my wife new lights and cut all contact with my brother. Although my brother's fiancée forgave him and is still going through the wedding, I think this is a happy ending for us. Story 2. The stranger at my uncle's funeral. My uncle was a very bitter man. While his entire family could barely make ends meet, he often boasted to us he was a millionaire. In the week we got evicted from our house he called us to boast about his brand new caravan and TV. He was the kind of man that would loan you 50 cents and ask for it back with interest later. Due to his behavior he got left with no friends and very few family members that wanted to stay in contact. After not being in contact for 5 years, my uncle called my mom. "I'm dying soon," he said. And just as I hit 5 million. My mom briefly considered hanging up again, but heard him out anyway. A week later we were called to the hospital. They would unplug him that night. Apparently many people were called, but few showed up. We were there as he stopped breathing. His daughters cried, but that was about it. Another week later his funeral was planned. Everybody from the hospital was there, but another man was looking on from the back. He showed little emotion and spoke little to no words. Nobody knew who this guy was. Everybody that asked were just told he's a friend, but nobody knew who invited him. As my uncle got lowered to the ground, mystery man stepped forward. In a voice obviously meant for everybody to hear he simply said, "Farewell, friend." Everybody shared confused glances. It was extremely theatrical. The man left without shedding a tear, and we went straight home after the funeral. I often think of that man. Who he was in my uncle's life to be the only man to consider him his friend. Then I wonder if my uncle, foreseeing his death, hired this man to be at his funeral. Either way, we never heard from him again. Story 3. My friend gave a spoiled girl in our school a reality check. So during grade 6 in the school there was a girl who was in grade 4. She was super spoiled because her father works in Aramco. She used to have the latest things such as the new Gucci bags on school trips and branded iPhone. She used to pick on the other girls and kids in the bus. Me and my friend used to sit in the front of her seat. She would always try to attract attention by kicking the seat and putting her hair on my friend's leg. He has this fight against show-off and flex girls cause he was dumped by one of those girls. He told the girl to stop irritating us but she wouldn't listen. It even got to a point she was acting sus around him. He got super angry and irritated. She started to say boys can't stand her beauty. My friend stood up angry and told her, they can't stand you cause the smell you release pollutes the air more than your father's oil refinery. The boys heard it and the whole squad came and started to cheer. Then my friend told, the atmosphere gets polluted each year cause polluters like you create more co-superscript 2 than the entire population of the world contributed. She then started crying and calling us bullies. My friend then told, you just can't accept the fact that your bad words if turned into medicine will taste sour and expired. She then didn't come the next week and word got out she left the school. Anyway, that one experience still is a victory for my friends. Story 4. My fatphobic mom and sister ruined my prom dress, so 5 years later I ruined her wedding dress. Anger. I, F25, have always been plus-sized. I take after my dad. My sister, F24, on the other hand takes after my mom. She is effortlessly skinny. My whole childhood she and my mom were close. They went shopping together all the time. Getting my mom to get me clothes was a hassle because she hated to buy me clothes. Sister and mom would say it's a waste to get me nice clothes because nothing looks good on fat people. She made me wear 2 or 3 sizes too big. Blue jeans and dark-colored t-shirts. All my clothes were baggy to hide my shape. Whenever I tried on dresses she would comment they don't look good on a girl of your size. My sister once said I looked like a roll of hamburger stuffed into a dress. My mom laughed. She never got onto my sister for the bullying and teasing. The summer before my senior year I worked at a restaurant to buy myself a prom dress. I saved all my money because I knew my mom wouldn't buy me one. I ended up getting a floor-length light blue gown with beading and lace. I felt like a princess for the first time in my life. I sent a picture to my friend who said I was stunning. I had never felt so good in clothes. About a week before prom I went to check my dress and saw that it was missing. I confronted my sister who claimed she didn't know. I asked my mom and she said not to worry, she will just get me a new one that fits my size. I demanded she give me my dress and she said if I wore something like that in public people would make fun of me. I gave up. I felt like it wasn't worth the fight at the time. I was so beaten down by them over the years I figured she was right. The day of prom came and my mom and sister were getting ready. She took my sister out for professional hair, nails and makeup. I spent the day crying in my room. My dad was there to comfort me, although I didn't tell him why I wasn't going, just that I wasn't. Then my sister came down the hallway in her dress. My heart sank. She was wearing my dress. My mom was saying she looked so beautiful and I lost it. I started screaming that it was mine. They said I was lying and I showed my dad the text I sent to my friend weeks prior. I told him everything. He was horrified and demanded the truth. My mom admitted that she didn't think a dress like that was okay for someone like me and that she had taken it in for alterations because it would look better on my sister. They argued and my dad forbade my sister from going to prom. This year or next. She was a junior. She told everyone in school that I was jealous of her and lied about the dress. Her teasing got worse and my mom treated me worse. About a year later my mom and dad divorced. It's been 5 years since prom. My sister is getting married today. My mom paid for her dress. I don't know the exact cost, but a cousin that attended the fitting said T was in the thousands at least. I know she only invited me to keep up appearances. She has a group of rooms booked in a hotel. I saw her and the bridesmaids go into a different room for hair and makeup. I made my move. I told the lady at the front desk I was my sister and that I had locked my room key in my room and I needed to get my dress. She let me in. I released all my anger on it. I ripped it. Stomped it, dipped it in the toilet, ripped off all the lace, the beads, dumped an entire bottle of shampoo on it. I destroyed it. I left it in the shower and went back to my room. I am typing this out as I hear my sister wailing from her room. Screaming about her dress. She sounds like she is dying. I don't care. I'm not sorry. 18 years of her and my mom making my life hell. I feel amazing. TLDR, my mom altered my prom dress to fit my sister because I was too fat for nice dresses, so 5 years later I ripped up her wedding dress. Update. Sister walked down the aisle in her reception dress. Also white. A lot of people are fat shaming me. I dieted my whole life. My mom encouraged me to have eating disorders and even showed me how to force myself to throw up. I took after my dad. I was whiter. Mom and sister were both size 0-1 but I was a size 4 but would fluctuate to size 5 sometimes. I have my dad's wide shoulders and hips. I never said I was obese or lazy. It's still wild to me how many people think that because I wasn't a size 0 I was lazy. It's truly sad how badly larger women are treated. We can't all be size 0s.